Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're showcasing the 10 weirdest N64 games. For this list, we'll be showcasing the oddest, most bizarre games of Nintendo's first 3D console. However, we won't be including any games that only launched in Japan. Have you played any of these oddities? Is there a weird game you think we should have included? Share your thoughts in the comments. Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Glover. The 1990s saw a ton of different platformer mascots, most of which were cute critters. Glover, on the other hand, is a glove. A walking, sentient glove is certainly a strange choice for a video game star, but the plot is also pretty out there. Glover belongs to a powerful wizard, a spell of whose backfires one day, turning him into stone and displacing mystical kingdom-maintaining crystals. Oh, and these crystals have been transformed into balls, which Glover must roll, slap, and dribble through obstacles for every level. You could even transform this ball into others. Still, its weird story, gameplay, and protagonist didn't exactly take the world by storm, though there are far more obscure platformers on the system. Hybrid Heaven. Have you ever wanted to give a monster a suplex? Well then Hybrid Heaven might be the game for you. This Konami title follows a synthetic human created by aliens who turns on his creators to stop them from replacing the president of the US with a clone. It was an early instance of blending genres, playing like an action-adventure game, but with turn-based battles. That itself is a bit odd for the time, but what's weirder are the attacks you can pull off. Among the surprising amount of punches and kicks are wrestling moves. There's nothing quite like body slamming, tackling, and shoulder tossing robots, clones, and mutant pigs in a secret invasion plot. Tonic Trouble. Video game companies copy each other all the time. However, it's a much rarer occurrence for a studio to so blatantly copy itself. Tonic Trouble stars Ed, a Rayman wannabe whose hands and feet also float detached from his body. Not only was it developed and published by Ubisoft, but it also came from Rayman creator Michel Ancel. If that wasn't weird enough for you, it follows the alien janitor after he accidentally drops dangerous alien liquid on Earth, mutating the entire planet. Adding to the mayhem is a drunk who drinks the liquid, gaining superpowers and conquering the world. Still not weird enough? Well, you can also turn into Super Ed by eating popcorn, and gain more health by collecting thermometers. For some reason. Iggy's Reckin balls. You've played as a glove transporting balls, now how about just the balls? Iggy's Reckin balls is a racer where players must reach the top of various spiral towers, either by themselves or against other players. In your path are enemies and obstacles, in which you use a grappling hook to get around. There aren't many racing platforming hybrids, but by far the strangest element of Iggy's Reckin balls are the balls themselves. The spherical characters each have a unique design and personality, such as the pink, pigtailed, fun-loving QT and Chatter, whose entire face is a mouth, yet for some reason doesn't talk. Who could have guessed something this bizarre would have come from the makers of Turok? Earthworm Jim 3D. It shouldn't come as a surprise that a third entry in the already weird Earthworm Jim series is also weird. This installment takes place almost entirely in Jim's head. He's been put into a coma and discovers he's completely insane. Villains run amok inside his subconscious, and only collecting all the golden udders will break Jim free. Yeah, pretty strange. But that's to be expected.
Hey!
What's also weird is that, despite sounding pretty in line for this particular hero's adventures, most critics and players weren't too keen on it. A troubled development period, missing features seen pre-launch, mediocre gameplay, and an awful camera all played roles in this franchise-killing entry. Even the original creators felt Earthworm Jim 3D had ruined the series. Ouch. Rocket, robot on wheels. Sucker Punch is one of the most impressive studios under PlayStation's umbrella, having created Sly Cooper, Infamous, and most recently, Ghost of Tsushima. But long before it was acquired by Sony or made any of those beloved franchises, the studio churned out a platformer about a unicycle robot trying to save a theme park from an evil raccoon. Gameplay isn't too outside the norm. Rocket has to collect tickets to open new worlds, gaining new abilities in the process. But the premise is still one of the sillier of the era, helped along by a soundtrack comprised of psychedelic jazz. Given how the studio evolved to be a franchise crafting machine, it's also odd to look back at how it got started. Chameleon Twist. The N64 clearly had no shortage of platformers, and a big chunk of them were obviously pretty strange. Chameleon Twist is the tale of a normal chameleon who follows a white rabbit into a new world a la Alice in Wonderland, and finds he's been made humanoid. Gameplay revolves around using the chameleon's tongue to latch onto different things, combating enemies, and navigating environments. Moving past the complete lack of hygiene your character shows by sticking their tongue to literally everything, it can also be controlled by you via the joystick or be used to launch off the ground. This makes each area fun to navigate, albeit a little repetitive after a while. Body Harvest. Before it was renamed to fit within the Rockstar Games family, but after its first Grand Theft Auto, DMA Design released this other, mostly forgotten action game. In Body Harvest, aliens invade Earth every 25 years to, well, harvest bodies. You play as a super soldier who travels across different time periods to stop them, like Greece during World War I and the futuristic year of 2016. In each level, you must hold off an alien onslaught and stop the civilian casualty meter from reaching capacity. Although, in typical GTA fashion, you can also kill anyone or anything you want. Most of the time, you'll be fighting hordes in vehicles, which is fair considering most enemies will be the size of a bus anyway. Mischief Makers. Sticking to 2D in the dawn of 3D was a bold move for a developer to make. While some, like Symphony of the Night, found success, Mischief Makers sadly didn't. On top of their perplexing dimensional choice is its strange plot and art style. You play as a robotic maid who travels to another planet to rescue her kidnapped inventor. Gameplay mostly revolves around a grab and shake mechanic, used to get rid of enemies and traverse levels. It seems to have been heavily inspired by anime, especially in the design of its large-eyed, chibi protagonist. Anime wasn't nearly as influential back then, at least when it came to video games not based on an IP. Clearly, Mischief Makers was ahead of its time.
Shake, shake. Shake, shake.
Mystical Ninja Starring Goemon. This action-adventure game from Konami has all the makings of a weird game. It follows the little ninja as he tries to stop some evil shoguns from using their tech-heavy spaceship to transform Japan into a theater and its citizens into dancers. A spaceship in feudal Japan controlled by aggressively passionate art connoisseurs? Pretty weird already, but let's keep going. The plot is overflowing with surrealist humor. There's a laugh track as well as a handful of some truly bizarre musical numbers. This isn't even the first or last game in the series, so imagine how weird it is altogether. If you ever get a chance to try it, don't pass it up. We doubt you'll play another game quite like it.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.